Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of the High Point Hello. Our series of talking to pros continues, and we have a great pro here with us today. We have former men's soccer legend, I'll say it, Johnny Fenwick here with us. Johnny, how you doing?
I'm good, yeah, I'm all good. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So former High Point Panther, a current pro in the USL with the Las Vegas Lights, and a whole lot to talk about. You had a stint in San Antonio, but before you did your trip in the pros, and it's still happening now, you were a High Point Panther. The High Point Soccer recruiting class coming in this year is the number 12 recruiting class in the country, and you were a very highly touted recruit. What made you want to choose High Point?
I guess at the time, High Point was the school that were really interested in me, and they made it that it was their top priority that they needed me to come to the school. Just checking the school out online as well, seeing what the school had to offer, looking at the campus. Obviously, that's a big attraction. The campus is beautiful. So I think that had a big part to play, and the program was starting to trend in the right direction. It was starting to become successful, and I wanted to be part of that. So definitely a decision that I'm happy I made. Don't regret it at all, and and it's really nice now to see it going from strength to strength. You know, it's not as if it's kind of just like had a good few years and then dropped off. It seems to be going in the right direction.
I was going to ask you, was there a certain moment where you were like, man, where it kind of clicked and you were like, man, I am really glad I came here?
I wouldn't say there's one particular moment where I was like, yes, this is the reason why I came to this school. It was just like the whole experience was just amazing. From when I first arrived at High Point, seeing the campus, and the team was just something that it just felt right when I first joined the team. Everybody was very, very welcoming, and it was just like a family. It was a group of brothers, and we ended up being very successful. And just looking back on my time at High Point was just. It makes me really proud. Something that we accomplished there. So we accomplished some great things, made the NCAA for the first time, and NCAA tournament, and we done well in the league, winning 2 regular championships. And I just hope that it continues to go in the right direction, and this coming recruitment class kind of one-ups what we already done.
And the first team in High Point history to host an NCAA tournament game. So a ton of history with you and your class and what you guys were able to accomplish. I want to ask you, we kind of talked about the favorite memory. I want to go a different route because we want to ask you what your favorite memory is. I know it's hard to pick one out. Do you have a favorite regular season game? Because I know we think about the tournaments, we think about the championships, but sometimes those regular season games are when some of the most unique things happen or most memorable. Is there any one that sticks out? Because you guys had some battles when you were playing.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of tough games. Big South, we've got some tough opposition. Carmel were a good side, and Radford were a really good side, especially when I first joined High Point. Just a lot of tough battles. I don't know if there's one that really sticks out, but yeah, those teams when we played those teams, it was never easy. Especially when we played away from High Point, we played away from home. It was really tough. Going to Radford my first few years, my freshman and sophomore year was always a tough place to go. No game was ever, we're just turning it up and it's an easy 3 points. Every team was tough. And the Big South had some tough teams. So they were all difficult. It wasn't like it's one moment where it was like, this game was something that sticks out. It was just a difficult time.
And back when Liberty was in the Big South Conference, I know that was a team that you guys would have some classics too.
Yeah, they were a good side as well. Had some really good players. I remember battling with some good strikers at the time from Liberty. They were good players. So it was always tough to keep a clean sheet against those guys. That's another good team that were in the conference. Never easy playing against those guys.
You had so many great things, happen when you were here. So many things that you were part of that you made happen, and because of that, a product of that, you made the All-Decade team. One of 2 guys in High Point on the High Point Soccer team in 2010 and 2020 to be named to the Big South All-Decade team. And as we said, it was a great conference. It is a great conference for soccer. And what does it feel like to be on that list?
It's really nice, to be making history like that and be recognised as a good player and someone that obviously helped High Point win regular seasons and kind of make program history. But I know it's kind of cliche, but it wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for my teammates. These are the guys that push me every single day. And if I didn't have good players around me, then I would never have got those accolades. I would never have stuck out. I had a great goalkeeper behind me when I first joined with Cody and also with Keegan as well. Two great goalkeepers. I had a great partnership with Rashid for my 4 years. Aaron Carmel, these are all like Austin Yearwood, all I could go on and on naming these great players. The midfield in front of me was always solid, so it made my job easy. Coaching staff as well. They were always fantastic with me, pushing me every single day, and that's the reason why I made history, I guess, and got those accolades.
I want to ask you about somebody else who made the Big South All-Decade team, somebody who I've heard that you are familiar with. What are your thoughts on the addition to the All-Decade team of Chrissy Rickard?
Yeah. She can actually hear me. She's with me right now. But no, yeah, she's pretty special too, huh? He done quite amazing things at High Point, yeah. So yeah, not too bad.
So pretty good, right?
Yes, very good. I mean, let's be honest. We always joke about it between us, but like on the grand scheme of things, she kind of done better than me. I guess she got better accolades than me. She made it, to the Olympic trials and done amazing things for High Point. And she's always on the billboard as well. She never lets me forget about that.
Is there competition there? Is she ever one up you?
Yeah. We never like do anything when it's sport related. When it's just like it's always a competition, whether it be table tennis, or whatever we're doing. It's always competition. So.
And do you ever take a trip down memory lane? Do you ever go oh yeah, well the time we hosted James Madison, or the time we won this game, won that game? She's like, yeah, but the Olympics. So
exactly. I can never one up because it's always just like, yeah, but and I'm just like, yeah, okay, you win.
Thank you. You're a good sport about that. I appreciate that. Yeah. So I want to ask you one more High Point question, then we'll get to the pro stuff. Then I'll leave you alone on your day off. But you were a guy who logged a lot of minutes. You always stayed on the field, and and not only were you on the field for a long time, you never stopped running around. I mean, when you were never not in the lineup, but if you were on the field so much that if you were ever looking like you were going to come off, we thought something was really wrong because you never came off the field. So what can you say about that mentality?
I guess I just got into that consistency of playing every game, I never really took it for granted that I was just going to start the next game, and I never really relaxed. I worked hard in training, really worked hard every day to make sure that I wasn't a starting lineup. It was never a given because my teammates were always pushing me. In fact, I was also thankful that I never really got any serious injuries, so that never played a part. That's why I played every single game. And I've spoken about this before as well, but when I first joined High Point as a freshman, I probably wasn't quite ready. I was, a little bit off the pace. I hadn't played soccer for a while leading up to my freshman year. So I needed some time to adapt to the style of soccer in America and kind of get used to things. And thankfully the coaches at the time put their trust in me and let me slowly develop. And then I kind of just went from strength to strength and obviously had a great career at High Point.
And so let's talk about your interest into the pros. You go to San Antonio your first year. How would you describe your first year in the pros?
First year in the pros was difficult for me. It was something that I was expecting to go smoothly because obviously going from High Point and being really successful there, I thought I was going to go to San Antonio and kind of go from strength to strength. And it's not always like that in football. It's ups and downs. And that was a little bit of a down for me. It was kind of a reality check. I had to work really hard at San Antonio to break into the team. And I did get into the team for a little bit, but then it kind of didn't work out. And like I said just before, that's football. That's the way it works. But now I'm in Vegas, and I couldn't be happier. Really, really happy where I'm at right now, and I'm getting good game time and really enjoying my football again. So always ups and downs, but right now it's an up. So I'm really happy with that.
And that is going to lead me to my next question. I have one more before that. I know that, when COVID-19 hit, everything kind of tossed up for everybody. I know you had to go back across the pond and then came back. You had to go through a lot to come back and play this pro season. Can you, as much as you're comfortable with, can you tell us a little bit about this? Because I really think it highlights, how determined you are.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy because, I was stuck in England trying to get back to the US to play for Vegas, but it's been a difficult time for everybody. It's been really tough, and I'm just grateful that I got time to spend with my family when I was back home. Never seen them for a long time. I get to go home every Christmas to see them, but it's always pretty brief. So to spend like 2-3 months with my family was really nice. And I just put my head down. I just worked hard when I was away back in England. Always thinking that I was going to get this opportunity to come back and play the sport that I love. So I'm just really grateful to be able to get back to Vegas and do what I love. So yeah, it was difficult, but on the grand scheme of things, like for what's going on right now, like, I'm playing the sport that I love, and I'm happy in Vegas. There's people going through a lot worse than me.
Well, what a great attitude. And let's end on a high note. So you're in Las Vegas. I think you were in the starting lineup the other night. You're really happy with where you're at. Tell me a little bit about this run. We're early in the season. How excited are you? And where is this excitement coming from? What makes you excited about being on the lights?
I think for me, when I first came to the lights, I just really enjoyed the group of guys that were here. We all wanted to be here. We all were working really hard. And it was kind of that similar changing room, that locker room environment of what it was like at High Point. It reminded me of that. Everyone was getting along really well, and everybody was joining training every day, because that's a big part of it. Everyone just sees what happens on the weekend, but training was really good, and I was enjoying it. And I felt myself developing as a footballer. And the head coach at the time, Eric Ronaldo, he was fantastic with me. Brought me in and just made me start to love the game again, and was putting his trust in me, and I was kind of excited for what was going to come. Unfortunately, he left the club and a new head coach came in, Frank Wallop, and he's been great as well. He's been great as soon as he come in. The lads have really warmed to him, and we haven't had long to work together because he's only been here for about just over a month now. But once we start to click, I think we're going to be a really good team. We've only had our first game against San Diego, and it didn't go as planned. We lost 2-1, but there was definitely positives to take from that game. So I think once we get to work with Frank a little bit more and we start to gel as a team, we're going to be really good, and I'm excited for what's to come.
You've been fantastic, so thank you so much. I have one more question for you, and then I'll let you go. Sorry for going so long. But, I wanted to keep my hardest question last. Give me your honest thoughts on the Las Vegas Lights kits, because I think they're tremendous, but I want to know your opinion. The smiley face on the inside, tremendous, but what are your thoughts?
Definitely interesting. Yeah, definitely interesting. I mean, I'm not too bothered, to be honest. Like, as long as, whatever kit it is, I'm not too bothered about it. As long as we get out there and are able to play, I'm not really too bothered about what I'm wearing. Definitely not the traditional kit. It's something a lot different. Yet you see they've got the smiley face on the shorts, and they've got like confetti going everywhere. People say that we look like cupcakes, but I mean, whatever. As long as we're winning games, that's all I'm bothered about. And
feel free to tell them, maybe the jerseys look like cupcakes, but when you guys are on the schedule, anything but, right? Anything but.
Yeah, we're far from cupcakes, but yeah, we're not going to be a pushover. We're not going to be an easy team to play.
Johnny, you're the greatest. Thanks for putting up with me. And best of luck. Thank you for everything you did at High Point, and best of luck in this season.
Thank you very much, mate. Good to speak to you.
Good to see you.